So I've taken my lid, planed it down. I have cut it to 8 1/4 on the table saw and cut it to dimension on the chop saw as well. As you put the bottom and the top on, should be about 1/4 inch to 1/8 inch hangover on the sides of the box as well as the back, the front, and both sides. So you know that you've cut it right if it's a little bit long and a little bit wide. It needs to be that way. Just like we have the lip on the sides here, we want the lip here, 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 and here. And we'll take care of that later. Now it's time to glue this together. As we glue this together, you're going to need a series of hand screw clamps. Hand screw clamps are these kind of clamps here that you'll use for various things, but this is one of them. And it's going to go on here just like this. Okay? And when we put it on there, we have to really make sure that these clamps stay parallel. We don't want them to angle in or toe in this way. So we want to make sure that they stay parallel when we go ahead and we do our glue up here. Now that I've gone ahead and I've dry fit this and I make sure that everything is cut to dimension, I'm ready to glue this together. What I do to glue it together, I glue the top and bottom on at the same time. I take my glue and just put a thin ribbon all the way around. I don't want to put too much glue on because when I squeeze it together, I don't want there to be squeeze out. I just want to make sure that it's going to coat it. So it won't come apart. But I don't want to have so much that if I squeeze these boards together, then it squeezes out. So now, and then this is the bottom, because that's where your drawer comes out, and this goes on the bottom that you plane down. This has been planed down as well, and it goes however you want to situate it on the top. Now you do the exact same thing, all 4 sides here. Spread it around, but not so much, especially on the top. We don't want to have any squeeze out, so don't put too much on. Making sure that it's parallel with the front. I don't want it to be crooked, so I want to make sure that I get it right where it's supposed to be, and it's overhanging on all 4 sides. Now, I go ahead and I take my hand screw clamps and I put them on the wall. I want the pressure to be as long as I can here on the wall. I'm going to back this out just a bit. Once I get this on there, I want to make sure I got everything parallel. I don't want everything to be crooked, and I want to make sure that my board hasn't moved too much. And I'm going to really go ahead and tighten that down. Now I can kind of move this around and manipulate it how I like to. Now I'm going to take another hand screw clamp, and I'm going to go along the back side. So I went from the front towards the back here. Now I'm going to take this one, same thing, make sure that you have them parallel, and make sure that you have them along the back wall, putting pressure on that back wall. Put this together now, and you get the tight joint all around here with no gaps. I get that with no gaps, then it's going to glue together successfully. Okay? And I want to have a total of 3, maybe 4 of these clamps, depending on how your box is working out for you. But a minimum of 3. And noting that this has full pressure here, this has full pressure here. It's not, the heels aren't going in and the toes aren't coming in. It's pressure here, pressure there. Now I'm going to check all the sides, make sure everything looks good, and as typical, I'm going to need one more clamp right back in here. I'm going to run it along the edge here. Now, the last thing, I got 4 hand screw clamps on there, and sometimes I got a little bit of a gap right there. So sometimes what I'll do, and I'm going to do it, I'm going to go ahead and do that in this situation, is take one of these smaller versions of the same kind of clamp, just so I can close that up. But I don't want to put it too tight in here because I don't want to dent this wood here or dent that. So I'm just going to put it in here and do my best to try and get it so that it won't dent that. Yet still put some pressure in there. And yeah, now I got some good pressure. Now I'm just going to let that sit overnight. If I get to this situation, I can begin, and I have more class time left, I can then begin working on my drawer.